Heavy rain had covered the streets of Seattle since dawn, turning the roads into rivers of gray reflections. Ethan Walker slowly approached the entrance of Royal Crest Hotel. His clothes were soaked and mud covered the lower part of his worn jacket. A small travel bag rested on his shoulder, while in his hand he carefully protected a bouquet of white roses from the rain. To anyone passing by, he looked like an exhausted traveler who had nowhere else to go. What nobody knew was that Ethan Walker was the founder and owner of Royal Crest Hotel. He had spent 4 days in Pine Valley attending the funeral of an elderly neighbor who had helped his family during difficult times many years earlier. After the emotional trip, Ethan returned without informing anyone. He often preferred traveling quietly because it allowed him to see how his businesses operated when nobody expected him. Stepping inside the luxurious lobby, he felt the warmth replace the freezing rain outside. Crystal lights sparkled overhead while soft piano music echoed throughout the room. Guests relaxed comfortably, unaware that the man standing near the entrance had built everything around them. Ethan walked to the reception desk with a friendly smile. "Good evening," he said politely. "Do you have a room available for tonight?" Two receptionists looked at each other. Their eyes moved from his muddy shoes to his old jacket. "Do you have a reservation, sir?" one of them asked. "No," Ethan answered calmly, "but any room will do." The receptionist checked her computer. Plenty of rooms were available, but her expression remained cold. "I'm sorry, sir. We're fully booked." Ethan noticed several room keys behind the desk and recognized from experience that she wasn't telling the truth. "Even a standard room?" he asked. The second receptionist folded her arms. "This is a luxury hotel, sir. Perhaps you'll be more comfortable somewhere else." The words hurt more than Ethan expected, not because he had been rejected, but because he had been judged. Quietly, he stepped away and sat near the window with his bouquet beside him. Several minutes later, an elderly couple entered the hotel. The husband walked with difficulty while his wife carried heavy bags. Ethan watched as the receptionist treated them with the same impatience. Something inside him tightened. 18 years earlier, when he founded Royal Crest Hotel, he had written one rule into the company handbook. Every guest deserves dignity, regardless of appearance. Because once, long ago, he himself had known what it felt like to be ignored. And tonight, he had just discovered that someone inside his own hotel had forgotten that lesson. What Ethan didn't know was that within the next few minutes, the truth would be exposed in front of everyone. As rain tapped against the windows, General Manager James Harrison walked through the lobby carrying several reports. Then he froze. Sitting near the window was a man he knew immediately. "Mr. Walker," James whispered. He hurried over. "Sir, why didn't you tell us you were coming?" The receptionist looked up in confusion. James suddenly noticed Ethan's wet clothes and the room request still displayed on the computer screen. His heart sank. Something was terribly wrong. "What happened here?" James asked firmly. One receptionist swallowed nervously. "This gentleman requested a room, but we didn't believe he fit the image of our guests." James stared in disbelief. "Fit the image?" Ethan remained silent. James checked the reservation system. 25 rooms were empty. His face turned pale. "You lied to a guest?" he said. "We were protecting the hotel's reputation," the younger receptionist answered weakly. Finally, Ethan spoke. "Do you know why I built this hotel?" Neither woman answered. "Years ago, after losing my wife, I raised my son alone. There were days when I wore the same jacket for weeks because I couldn't afford another one." The entire lobby had become silent. People judged me before they even knew my name. I promised myself that if I ever owned a hotel, nobody would experience that pain. Tears filled one receptionist's eyes. Luxury, Ethan explained, wasn't about expensive chandeliers or marble floors. Luxury was making people feel welcome. James took a deep breath. "You both attended customer service training. You signed the company values agreement." They nodded silently. "Then you knew exactly what was expected." After a long pause, James informed them that their employment would end immediately. Reality hit them hard. Years of work had disappeared because of a few moments of prejudice. But Ethan wasn't angry. He was disappointed because character isn't revealed by how we treat important people. Character is revealed by how we treat those we believe have nothing to offer us. The next morning, Royal Crest Hotel felt different. News of the previous evening had spread among employees. Early that day, Ethan gathered every department inside the conference hall. Housekeepers, chefs, receptionists, servers, security guards, and managers filled the room. "I didn't call this meeting to discuss two former employees," Ethan began. "I called it because I want us to remember why this hotel exists." The room became completely silent. When people walk through our doors, they bring more than luggage. Some are celebrating, some are grieving, some are exhausted. And most of the time, we know nothing about the battles they are fighting. He paused. Respect costs nothing, but it can mean everything. Then Ethan shared stories from his own life. He remembered sleeping in cheap motels while trying to build his business. He remembered the kindness of strangers, and he remembered the pain of being treated as if he didn't matter. After the meeting, Ethan surprised everyone. Instead of returning to his office, he spent the day helping employees. He carried luggage with the bell staff. He greeted guests personally. He thanked housekeepers for their hard work. Employees saw a side of their owner they had never witnessed before. Weeks later, guest satisfaction reached record levels. Complaints dropped. Team spirit improved, and every new employee who joined Royal Crest Hotel learned about one rainy evening when a tired stranger carrying white roses had been denied a room, not because he was the owner, but because that night taught everyone an unforgettable truth. You can never know someone's story simply by looking at them, and in the end, the true measure of a person is found in how they treat people from whom they expect nothing in return.